During this special time of year, we here at the Real Review 3000 and Chaos Central would like to thank you for all the support you have shown us this year. It is with our gratitude that we wish you and your family and friends, and even those who may disagree with us, the fandom menace, a happy and safe holiday season. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.
I'll tell you all about it. That was real good. That was money, first of all. Let's do another.
What is up, everyone? I am Chris Knight. This is the Real Review 3000 and the Mandalorian Roundtable. I'm telling you guys, it's going to get crazy tonight because I don't know. Disney decided to do something really freaking stupid and really make us all go like geek crazy here. So we'll get to that, of course. But before we do all of that and talk about everything, we're going to go around and let you guys know everybody here. Comix, you're going to have you start and go around the panel, please, guys.
Hey everyone, I'm Comix Division. You can find me at our channel, Division, as well as on Twitter at Comix Division. How do you, Scott?
Check your mic. It's nice and it was muddled.
Seriously, can you hear me now?
No, it's still muddled.
A little bit.
Muddled.
Yeah.
Be cheap like me and just use the microphone on your piece of crap laptop.
Go ahead and work on that. And Scott, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm Scott from Sporking News Podcast. A lot of passion, low budget. So, yeah, check out the channel, the YouTube, and all that other stuff. Yeah, the channel is on YouTube, Twitter, Parler, all that. Thanks for having me, Chris. Sorry I haven't been here as much as I would have liked to.
That's all right. I understand, dude. Craziness in the world. I mean, Danny, myself, a lot of it's crazy time of year. So, yeah, thank you for being here, though. I'm glad you're here. Hopefully next week you can come in. I understand if you can't. Danny, go ahead.
I'm Danny, aka Comment Chat, several channels. Just really excited about being here tonight. This last episode, fantastic. So I'm ready to dive into it.
All right. JJ, go ahead.
What's going on, everybody? Boy JJ, you can find me a little bit of everywhere. You can find me Sunday nights on Han Star's channel for Jack Boss Game Night and Midnight Noon. You can find me Monday night on my channel for my live stream, Randomness at its finest. Random panel, random topics. It's making me busy. Come by, check it out. Like, share, subscribe, all that fun stuff that goes with it. And you can catch me on Tuesday night with some of the gentlemen here on the panel tonight. Chris Knight, Danny Graham, Nzo Hodges, Gaiskar, Elihu Who, and LDG Pixels for the Chaos list. And also sometimes Thursday night back on Chris's channel for the Weekly Rumble, either as a contestant or a combatant, as I like to say, or sometimes he likes to change it up and I come in as a wild card. Great to see everybody. Can't wait to talk about this episode.
All right, how's this for the audio?
Very good.
That was a lot better.
Sometimes I have to restart the browser for some reason. StreamYard's been killing me.
Okay, I don't know who's trying to jump in from the back room, but that's going to be something we're going to deal with quite a bit. All right, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, Nzo and Bigger Ford Entertainment. Tell us all about that.
Yes, guys, the channel Bigger Ford Entertainment. Like Danny said, we and Chris said we have 3 shows together, Rule of 3, Chaos Conversation, Chaos List. Catch me on JJ's channel, Randomness at its finest. Glad to be here on this final episode, well, second to final episode of The Mandalorian. So let's do this.
Indeed. Gaiskar, go ahead. Tell us about yourself.
I'm Gaiskar from the Basco Scenario. You can find me here on Sundays for the Mandalorian Roundtable. You can find me on Mondays at the Chaotic Conversation with Danny and Nzo, as well as Chris and other fine gentlemen, JJ, Elihu Who. You can also find me on Wednesdays on the OOC with my homeboy Nzo and Roberto. So yeah,
Indeed.
Thanks for having me, man.
Not an issue. I love having all you guys here. Honestly, this is like one of the highlights of my week. Positive. Go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and all of that good stuff.
All right, Positive Candor. Reveal. Hello.
Oh, hello.
Hello. Yeah.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hey, what's going on?
What's happening? No,
Everybody, he's on camera. Take a look. Take your pictures now.
Exactly. Might be the only time. No, I'm just kidding. No, I figure I show up on camera just for this special occasion,
Wow, cool.
At least for a little bit. But yeah, Positive Candor on YouTube and Twitter. How about that?
Very nice. Okay, Elihu.
Yes, go ahead, speak.
I'm gonna bump you to the back real quick because Shellback's here too. So, but go ahead really quick and tell everybody about yourself and your channel.
Okay, I'm Elihu Who, and I can be found everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Of course, sometimes in between. But when I'm not there, I can be found every Wednesday, 12 noon Pacific time, which is specifically 12 noon. Every Wednesday on my show called What's Up with the Universe, where we talk astronomy, astrophysics, all sciencey fun. And I can also be found on Twitter, as well as randomly I can be found on JJ's Randomness at His Finest channel. He's over here, not over there. That's the kid. I can also be found on Danny's Chaos Central, and LDG Pixels sometimes, and Chris Knights, and everywhere, like I said, everywhere and anywhere.
All right. Go ahead and back out to the back, and I will get Shell in here and get him in place, and we'll go from there. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
All right. Austinator, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself.
Yeah, what's up, guys? You guys can find me on Twitter at the Austinator17. So if you ever want to message me over there on Twitter, you do that at the Austinator17. Also, I have Discord at the Austinator, where if you don't have Twitter, that's a-okay. You can just message me there. And also, I have a YouTube channel where I finally hit over 100 subscribers for the second time, and it finally stuck. And so if I don't really have a subscriber goal at the moment, so if you guys just want to go and subscribe, go ahead and do so. I do 3 normal streams per week on StreamYard. I do Shadow Eye on Sundays, where tonight we're going to be talking about The Office Season 3. Nice. I'm going to be doing Splash Talk on Wednesday this week. We're just going to be reading fan fiction and bullshitting around for 2 hours. And I do a show that's going to be postponed to Saturday called Good Old Wrestling, where we just talk some pro wrestling for a couple hours. And, you can find me sometimes here on the Real Review 3000 on Sundays, either as part of the weekly wrap-up or the Mandalorian Roundtable, and sometimes on the weekly Rumble. You can find me on JJ's channel, where sometimes I'm part of Randomness at Its Finest on Mondays, and sometimes Nzo's channel when he and JJ and LDG do their game streams, where it's usually a pretty balanced competition. So I'm excited to talk about this episode.
All right.
An Austinator. Challenge accepted.
Oh,
jeez.
Get me a date and time.
Dun, dun, dun.
You give me one.
Come on.
I'm good.
Okay, here it is. Back.
I'm just saying. Yeah, just go. Give me time and time.
Okay. So I'm going to go over some of the ground rules here for everybody in the chat, and just kind of so they understand how we're going to do this. So, Austinator, currently you are in the rotational spot. When you get done with your 5 minutes, you're going to back out. You're going to let Elihu in and tell him, because we're going to go from Comix to you, then it's going to go up to Scott, then back down to Elihu, to Danny, then back down to Nick then. And then if Bear shows up, we will put Positive in place, and then the rest of you guys will rotate like that. So what we're doing today, guys, is a little different than we normally do. We normally everybody gives out their overall thoughts. We do what we liked, then we do what we didn't like, and then we do our final thoughts and our grade. Tonight we're gonna give 5 minutes to the panelists. That includes myself, which could be interesting. 5 minutes for them to say their overall thoughts, what they liked, what they didn't like, and their final thoughts and grade. Now, we're not going to go hot and heavy into the obvious two things that happened at the end. And I'm only saying that. You guys know that these are spoilers here. But we're not going to go very hot and heavy at first. After everybody gets their 5 minutes, we will discuss the two main things that are probably on everybody's mind. So, with that said,
in our 5 minutes, we can go in whatever order we want, right?
Yeah, that's fine. Just kind of give you, the whole thing. So, and you can mix up what you did, what you didn't like, that type of stuff. It's fine. You don't have to follow that exact format. Just make sure that the last thing you give me is your grade. That's all I'm asking. So 5 minutes is on the clock. Comix, go ahead.
All right. I'm going to give everyone a fair warning. I don't like my take. I thought minus the two cool things at the very end, I thought was a very mediocre episode. There was a lot of issues with it, specifically with the whole thing with Boba Fett fighting with Lady Mando, and I was like, "Can he get his ass kicked by her? No way! Come on." It's a car going to buy it, but that one chick, no. It's like I had an issue with that. Overall, like I said, it for me was very bland. The thing that honestly made it the most exciting was the Luke reveal, and then the reveal at the end with Boba after the credits. That was like the only two things I really liked about the episode. Overall, I thought the CG was pretty good up till Luke started talking, and then I thought it looked hell. Yeah, I mean that's kind of my take on it, guys. I didn't like the episode that much. As sad as it is with the big reveals in it, I thought the story was mediocre.
Okay. Danny, go ahead.
Me?
Oh no, Scott. No,
Scott's
you're going kind of invisible over the past few weeks, so it's kind of like.
I thought you were going to the guy below for jumping through.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
so it's already going to. Austinator, go. 5 minutes. 5 minutes.
Overall, I really liked this finale. I thought the battle between Moff Gideon and Mando was really cool. The CGI was great. The last two things were definitely awesome. It kind of made sense with one of the reveals, and the other reveal also made sense in a way where it setting up season 3. I don't know how they're going to do season 3, but that also gives me excited, especially with the reveal at the end, which I know we'll be talking about later. I thought the Death Troopers were really cool. And then but that was also kind of a nitpick for me, is like, if the Empire just invested in the Death Troopers, like, even though they'd probably be at the same place that they are now, it would be totally different. But then again, they did invest in 2 Death Stars, so I'll forgive them for that. And then the Darksaber, like, I like that they're setting up stuff for season 3, because season 2 is basically the middle chapter. So I'm anticipating like them resolving the plot line with the Darksaber and just all of that. But overall, it was very good.
Okay. All right. Jump out and.
I thought it was supposed to get a grades.
Oh yeah. Did you give me a grade, Comix?
No, I didn't.
Go ahead and give us a grade.
Only because it had Luke and the reveal at the end with Boba Fett. I give it a B-.
Okay, fair enough. Austinator, give us your grade.
Overall, I would give my final grade an A. I thought this episode was actually very awesome. I thought the action was great. The 2 reveals, this was basically the setup season for season 3, and I think it set it up very well. And I'm looking forward to the 3rd chapter in The Mandalorian.
Okay, very good. Jump out, and I believe it's Eli next. All right, Scott, go ahead.
Yeah. My take on it. I think the series itself reminds me of like bad Chinese food. Like, it tastes so good going down and watching it, but like after a little bit, I realized I made a bad decision. Like, oh, that wasn't a good decision. That wasn't as good as I thought. So I can't give it a high grade. I really thought it was interesting that they picked Luke. That the fight choreography for that was probably my favorite part, seeing the power he actually has. But in general, for the episode, I feel like Moff Gideon, he hasn't stood up to what I thought a great actor like himself. I always forget his name, but like himself is. It hasn't given like that great depth of an evil character, and I understand, Darth Vader was only shown a little bit in the first two, but I don't know. I'm not feeling him being this really nasty evil guy. He had a couple death troopers that he was really depending on for everything, and they fell apart. I thought they were clunkier than I would have expected to be like their third or fourth generation of those, with taking the human element out. But they were powerful looking, and I enjoyed that. I'll get that. The part at the beginning that Comix said too, that girl like able to take, he shoots his grappling, wraps it around her, and she holds him off with one arm when he's grabbing with two of his arms. Like, come on, like, are you? Whoa, man. That took me out. And then the whole inconsistency with the saber and who can yield it, and she has to beat him in battle, even though she got handed that saber. Like, it just didn't make sense to me.
The bean handed to her initially too. It's like, now they have to fight over it. What the fuck?
Now, exactly. Like, it made no sense. I really did love the action again with the dark saber and how the spear would heat up. I thought that was really cool looking. But other than that, again, mediocre. It's not what I expected the finale to be. The best part, though, is hopefully next season there will be no Grogu.
Okay. Grade?
And maybe he dies.
Oh, grade?
I'll give it a C.
Okay.
Wow, that's generous.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm being generous.
Wow.
Again, while I was watching it, I enjoyed it. It just fell apart after.
All right. Elihu, go ahead. 5 minutes.
Okay.
Oh, wait. Time out. Just real quick. I want you to say it with me, Scott. Giancarlo Esposito.
Giancarlo Esposito.
There you go.
I'm just going to call him, Senor Esposito.
There you go. Just call him GE.
GE.
Hey, he brings good things to life.
Yeah.
Gus.
Wow.
Keep calling Gus. He's Gus. It's Gus.
Okay.
Yeah, he is.
All right. 5 minutes. Elihu, go ahead.
Okay. I love the opening bar sequence. I forgot her name, but the other Mandalorian fighter. She's a pro wrestler. Her signature move is the neck flip back kick, and she did that to Boba Fett. I'm like, okay, I love that. I mean, she's just hopping off. I forgot her name. I actually love that. It actually incorporated her athletic skills into the movie. I love that part. The opening sequence when you see Slave One chasing and fighting him. We always knew Boba Fett was a badass bounty hunter. But now we get to see his piloting skills. I mean, I love that the stalled engine backtrack. Like, oh hell yeah, that's the basic Air Force move. Yeah, you just pull your flashback and you stall. I love that. I just have that in space. And I actually like the fact that Boba Fett was kind of went off at the beginning of the episode, because if he was there at the bridge at the end, I would love to see that conflict between him and Luke. The only thing I really didn't like was the bridge scene when the Mandalorians flew off. I'm like, okay, you see, they're getting surrounded. I'm like, okay, the Mandalorians are flying up. They're going to come up soon. It was totally expected. That was like, okay, I saw that coming. That's the only part of the episode I did not like. And I'm not going to discuss the very endings, because we're going to say that for later. Mm-hmm. But my overall grade is going to be an A, a solid A.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Right.
Yeah.
Since we're not going to see the kid anymore, this is a very unique picture right here. It's drawn by Simone Bailey. She's selling it on the website. She has different Star Wars art. So, hey, print help Simone out.
All right, jump back there and tag Nick in. And while you're doing that, Danny, go ahead. You got 5 minutes.
Clearly, I must was watching a different episode. I don't know. Maybe my cable worked differently because I thought the episode was fire. These grades, I'm not understanding, but to each his own.
Exactly.
The only thing that would have made it better to me instead of Luke Skywalker would have been Samuel Jackson and Mace Windu. I would have truly lost my shit had it been him. I like everything about it. I like how Luke came in there. He used, to me, like a combination of Sith powers and Jedi powers because I never seen the Sith use things to crush and do all this kind of stuff he was doing. So I thought it was fire. Now I will agree with Comix that when the CGI, when he started talking, it looked kind of funny, like wasn't quite matched up or something. And I was like,
yeah, his lips didn't move right.
Yeah, but other than that, when I saw the TIE fighter, that was a giveaway, and the second giveaway was a green lightsaber. So I knew it was Luke. But to me, I thought it was. Now I got two little nitpicks. This thing is so high tech. Why is the camera playing black and white? I don't understand that. The screen, when they're looking at the fight, you can't tell what color the lightsaber is at the first time you see Luke because it's a black and white screen. Why the fuck they got black and white screen?
I've never been green.
That high tech.
Yeah, but at first you don't see that.
At first you can't see it.
It's a black and white closed circuit TV. Hey, so what? Whatever time frame it is, they're still using black and white for that.
That makes no sense to me. I didn't mind too much about the fight with Boba Fett and the female Mandalorian because they train differently. I don't know. I mean, does it seem like he would be overpowering the match? But I guess you could say she used leverage. I don't know. That really wasn't nothing that really stuck in my craw. But to me, this episode was right on pace with the Ahsoka episode. And the only reason why I'm not giving it an A+ is because I would have preferred to see Samuel Jackson Mace Windu. I'm going to give it an A-.
Damn.
Yeah. I can't fault you for that, man.
What'd you say your grade was?
A-.
A-. Okay, fair enough. Okay. 5 minutes, Nick. Go ahead.
All right.
And go.
All right. I, for one, enjoyed the episode a lot, and I could say that not only did I enjoy it just initially speaking, but I've watched it twice more since then. And I actually found the when they went to the bar to see Bo and Sasha Banks, I actually found it hilarious that Boba got called out as not being a Mandalorian and that's not his armor. So I personally thought that shit was hilarious. I could see why Boba fanatics would not want to have their hero be shit talked about, but I thought it was fucking funny. And it's true. So, and I enjoyed that the fight with Moff Gideon and Mando was shortened to the point, and I like seeing the burn from the Beskar spear too. I like seeing that as well. And seeing Mando get decked in the head by the Dark Trooper was pretty damn hilarious. I'm like, man, he's gonna have a concussion or 3 after that one. And I like, of course, the Luke scene. We all love it. It's like saying snow is white, water is wet. Of course we love that shit. Obviously, it was a little awkward when he spoke, but, bro, I was tearing up the first, second, and third viewing. So it's just nice to see Luke depicted as a hero. Mm-hmm. A freaking hero. So that's nice. And the best part, not only was it the after credit scene, but the fact that I caught it on accident because I was doing my review, and as I was doing my review, it's like I heard that noise because I keep the credits rolling. I'm like, hold up, what's that? Oh my god, my TV! And I saw that scene, I'm like, what is this madness? And then, Fang shoots at, the chain where the slave was, get the hell out. And then all of a sudden, Boba shows up and freaking takes out that fat old Bib Fortuna thing. And he's just claiming the throne, like he's just there. And I'm like, man, that's some Thanos type of shit. So,
excuse me, you're in my way.
Yeah, right. Just hey, get the hell off this chair. Get out of here. And yeah, it was. I overall enjoyed the episode a lot. I have a few minor complaints that are inconsistent with Rebels because, no continuity is ever 100% perfect, but it was just things that, once again, hopefully will be explained down the line, and I can maybe forgive it then. So we'll see where that stands then. But as for now, I will consider this a critique. Overall, my score. I'll go with an A.
Hey, all right. Excellent. So do me a favor.
Yes, sir.
Jump back to the back. Let Austinator come up just a little bit, and we'll see what's going on here. Make sure nobody back. Okay. So up next, I believe Nzo. Nzo, go ahead. And JJ. I'm sorry, JJ. You go ahead. JJ. And tell everybody what you think. 5 minutes. Go ahead.
All right. Overall, yeah, I have to agree with Danny on this one. I don't know what y'all were watching, but anybody in the group chat saw my thoughts the moment after I finished watching it yesterday. The first thing out of my mouth was "Holy shit!" I love the episode. My nitpicks are far and few between. It was rather enjoyable. Even though, the CGI was off, and I'm not talking about just Luke. The scene with the X-wing flying into the hangar looked kind of weird.
Yeah, it did look weird.
It looked very weird. I'm like, man, come on, guys, y'all can do better than this. And the gun jamming, guys, come on. How many times are we going to get that now? What is this? Every other episode now they're going to have a gun jam? No, that ain't going to work.
No,
that's it. Minor nitpicks, man. Because the moment I saw the X-wing, I knew who it was. Period. End of story. I knew who it was. Because there's only one that flies that particular X-wing. Because you can look at it, you can tell by the stripe on the side of it how it's missing a part of it. You can tell. Seeing him in action, awesome. This is the Luke that we've heard about. After Return of the Jedi, this is the Luke we've heard about. This is trying to bring him back into a new light. Now, what happens between him and Grogu is a totally different story because he was never mentioned. But we'll just have to wait and see if it's even mentioned from here on out. But all in all, man, the fight scenes, the Dark Troopers still didn't care for them, but they served their purpose. And the fight between Gideon and Din, it's just, I don't know. It was good, don't get me wrong, but it was, at the same time it was lacking. Maybe another minute or two longer, but because he made it clear that he was coming after Gideon to get the child. Come on, let the kind of like Obi-Wan and Vader. That right there, considering what Vader just went through, that fight should have had a lot more feeling in it. And the one between him and Gideon, it was lacking feeling to me. But
well, that's kind of my point, right? That's why I rated it so low.
Yeah. I'm just nitpicking, but overall,
those are nitpicks. I think those are some very big plot issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. True. But all in all, I'll give the episode a strong A, because for all the nitpicks that I found, overall I enjoyed the episode.
Very good, JJ.
Thank you.
Danny.
Hey, let me say one quick thing about that gun. I don't mind the gun jamming. Taking a gun and using it as a baseball bat towards firing people, that's what's dumb as shit to me.
Because these troopers are garbage.
Yeah, that's another issue. Is the whole thing with that fight is just like, you're expecting me to believe that 4 people cleared out an entire ship full of stormtroopers.
I don't even think the stormtroopers took like 2 shots. Like, come on. They just walked into it.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, hey, look, people are shooting. Okay, let's sit and watch.
Yeah.
They're the
They just got
heroes.
worse and worse through the years.
All right. Shell, I am so sorry. When things are moving around here, I got to make sure. I'm sorry I skipped over you. Like, hell, I'm not, dude. You're a part of this. Dude, you were here from the get-go, so of course I'm sorry.
I would have skipped you, Shell, but that's just me.
Yeah, well, yeah, we
Well,
know.
Scott, everybody expects you to be a dick. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
All right, Shell, go ahead. 5 minutes. Tell us everything. Just give us your overall, what you liked, what you didn't like, final grade, all of it right now.
Yeah.
5 minutes.
Well, overall, it was good. Okay, I thought it was a solid episode. You know, I mean, was it shoot 'em up, bang bang every 2 freaking seconds, or whatever? No, but here's the thing. All right, okay, the Boba Fett freaking what's her butt fight or whatever in the cantina. Okay,
Sasha Banks.
Yeah, dude, he wasn't there. Okay, he wasn't there to beat her ass like he was a member of the Slapaho tribe. Okay, that's not what he was there for. All right, they were there to get their help. So if he would have beat her ass like you guys are wanting her to,
no, Shelly, that's not what we said.
She wouldn't have been any damn good.
Dude. No, it's the fact that if they were thrown down and when she was like holding her arm like that, he just would have yanked her. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
she did yank her. She held it.
Right,
yeah,
but if you would have been listening, if you were listening, it would be like, I mean, when I was watching it and I was listening, I could hear like the little, I don't know, I guess the little winch or whatever in there, that like retracts the damn cable, and it sounded like he was trying to reel her in instead of just freaking jerk her ass off of her feet or whatever, But like I said, bottom line is they were there to get their help, not to freaking kick their asses. Okay. And the gun jam, everybody, I've heard people like, oh, how does an energy weapon jam? Yada yada yada. Well, like, I've been, a tabletop gamer, Star Wars and stuff. And, the laser guns aren't laser guns, okay? They're more like freaking, shooting like plasma bolts, okay? They aren't freaking,
plasma.
So, I mean, there's ammunition, and all this other kind of shit, just like a normal freaking earth gun, okay? Just like a damn slug thrower. So, they can malfunction, all right? Just because she says it's jammed, okay, so she said it's jammed instead of having a malfunction. Okay,
malfunction would make more sense.
Less syllables. Okay, she's freaking efficient in her vocabulary. Okay,
sounds like you're making excuses, Shell.
It's
no,
it's just Toronto. Of course, he's going to make excuses.
It's just that that it wasn't.
It sounds like that to me.
It didn't seem to break. It didn't seem to break anything for me like it does.
She could jam any gun. I'd be happy with it.
Right. Exactly. Anyway,
I drink to that.
It had to be Luke, okay? Because I mean, come on, if it would have been freaking Mace Windu, come on, he would have had to come in there and be like, all these damn droids on this damn starship.
Dude, that's what I want to see.
It's like no, okay, and at this time, at this time, the only quote unquote Jedi that we know of from previously in the galaxy is Luke. Okay,
that's not what the other episode told me. The Jedi.
So,
that's true.
Yeah, well, okay. So she did. Freaking Ahsoka, okay?
I'm not getting you off topic. I'm sorry.
Stay on point. Stay on point.
Stay on target.
Stay on target.
Stay on target. Stay on target.
She didn't correct him, okay? Yeah, she didn't correct him. All right. But to me, that was freaking just, if she would have corrected him, then that would have like freaking made him question her,
Rogate, you are
whatever.
off target.
Anyway,
please stay on target too.
Shut up. Anyway,
Throw the
it
show
didn't
back
fucking
one.
bother me. All right. Let's see. The whole dark saber, having to fight for the dark saber thing. Just like with Din Djarin, the main character, Mandalorian, right? Him and his sect or whatever, going by the the old code of of Mandalore, the creed, instead of, hey, I was born on Mandalore, so I'm a Mandalorian. No, they went with the, with the original freaking, the Mandalorians being a creed. You don't have to be born on Mandalore, yada yada yada. So maybe that's coming from the same neighborhood with the Darksaber thing, instead of just, hey, here's the Darksaber, now you can rule Mandalore. It's like,
but that's how it was in Rebels. That's how it was in Rebels.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean, I remember watching that episode, and yes, Sabine gave Bo-Katan, the saber, and and it's like, okay, rule the planet or whatever. But the thing is, whether or not it was like super legit, I don't know. But I still didn't really have a problem with that, because in a way, I think it makes it more legit if you have to duel over it, But
okay. What's your final
Chris,
grade?
can I say real quick? Oh, after he does
that. Let me get his final grade, and then you can.
Well, with the kind of sketchy CGI on freaking Luke's face, and I'll give it like I don't know, A-, because I thought it was a solid episode.
Very good.
So,
all right.
Real quick, I've seen a lot of like hate on Twitter between Star Wars fans, because the people that love it are upset with the people that didn't, and the people that didn't don't give a shit. I don't know. All I know is this: we're all nitpicking the same thing. The difference is it bothers me, and like someone like Danny, it doesn't bother him because he enjoys the episode. He enjoyed the action. He enjoyed what happened. I never look down on that. I can't lie about how I feel. It
I agree.
Eats at me when I see things.
Here's the thing, though. We're not fighting over freaking identity politics.
No, God, I hate this goddamn computer.
You need to be somewhat happy, okay?
Hold on.
I don't know if I'm freezing up or not.
Let go of your hate. Let go of your hate.
Exactly. At least we're fighting over Star Wars. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I mean,
what I'm trying to say is we're fighting over Star Wars. That's beautiful.
Yeah. Scott, do me a favor. Yeah, there. Never mind. He did that. We'll wait for him to come back.
You phantoms on yourself. You were 2 little grades lower than me.
No, here's the thing. It's the same thing I always say when it comes to The Last Jedi. I've made my own context where it works fine for me. I understand the people who have a problem because I see the problems. I've just made my own context for it. Danny does that at times too. He's okay with certain things because he can say, "Hey, I can see that." Same thing with Shell. I mean, so I mean, again, we're not fighting over the same crap we were with the sequel trilogy. We're not fighting. Let me rephrase that. We're not arguing over the same stuff.
And we forgive you for being wrong about that movie.
I know I'm right. It's okay because this whole thing. As soon as I get to talk, I'm gonna explain something. As soon as we talk about a lot of this other stuff. Okay.
I'll say one quick thing. I think people confused Mace with Samuel Jackson. Mace Windu has never talked like Samuel Jackson.
No,
the only time I saw him lost his cool.
But we wish he would have. We wish he would have. Because the one time, if he were to come in that thing going, motherfucker, what the fuck is this damn droid following me for?
Oh, come on. The famous line of "This party is over." Come on, that was totally Samuel L. Jackson.
We're trying to get done with this so we can get to the meat and potatoes of this episode. Anzo, please go ahead. 5 minutes.
Yes, sir. All right. Overall, I did like this episode. To me, it was the second best of this season. The Ahsoka is first. Couple of the dislikes that I did have is, I'm sorry, but Shellback, I don't like the guns jamming. We've had 11 movies. We have cartoons. There's never had a gun jamming. And all of a sudden, 2 episodes, we got the gun jamming. So that really bothered me.
I forgive you.
It's okay. It's okay.
Real quick, Austinator, could you jump back? Because actually, stay right there. I'm going to see if Bear's coming back. I think Bear's here. But just go ahead, Anzo. Continue.
Yep. Second thing, it would probably be the Bo-Katan not being able to take the dark saber, because when I was watching it and I'm like, wait a minute, something doesn't seem right here. So I went back to Rebels and I was like, yeah, she got it by giving it to her. So they changed a little bit stuff over there. And I mean, this is all nitpicks, right? Because at the end of the day, George Lucas has changed shit from the original trilogy anyways. So I'm just saying, it's like, okay, well, I mean, you did that. Another thing that bothered me was Mando, again, trusting. You know what I mean? It's like Moff Gideon says, yeah, just take the baby and you can go. And Mando just walks up to the baby like it's nothing and goes to grab it. And of course, what did you think he was going to do, you know? Like, you really thought he was going to let you take the freaking baby? I'm like, okay. So, no, that was another thing. Oh, and the airlock being right next to the fucking droids. You know what I mean? Like, was that a coincidence or what? You know what I mean? They just, and them taking 10 minutes.
Where do you keep your car? If you have a garage, you keep it right there. I mean, it's just it's a garage and a ship. It has a door and opens up to the outside. It's just
I think they took cold storage a little too literally with keeping them cold for some reason.
You know, and
I mean, you don't want to push your damn lawnmower through the house, okay, before you use it.
Okay, go ahead, Nzo. Nzo, go ahead.
And then the droid's taking 10 minutes to power up and all of that stuff. I'm like, okay, really? Like, this is just plot convenience, and it was unnecessary. It wasn't needed. But other than that, huh? Well,
that actually was needed.
But they didn't take 10 minutes. They were earlier. That's why he was. That's why he was late to where they were.
Yeah, he was late because he had to keep ducking and hiding from the stormtroopers that were walking around. Yeah, that's why he was late. But
Are you going to say stormtroopers?
Troopers.
Oh, okay.
Troopers.
More like.
Wow.
And what we all liked, you know what I mean, is the reveal. You know, once that X-wing comes in, I'm sitting there, I'm like, no way. I'm like, really? You know, like right away, you know who it is the minute you see the X-wing. But it's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they did that. You know, I liked the fight with Moff Gideon and Mando. You know, there was a few moves in there that Mando did that I liked. I was like, that was pretty cool. Okay, the fight could have been longer. I agree with that. I also agree that they could make Moff Gideon a little bit more evil. You know what I mean? But I think they're going with a more diabolical, you know, where he's more trying to outwit people than just being straight up trying to kill people and stuff like that.
Kind of weak this episode.
He's more of a crafty dude.
He's more crafty than anything. Yeah, that's what I say about him. You know, Mando taking off his helmet and Baby Yoda scene, you know, was like, oh, it was okay, it was cute, but that's about what I liked about it. And then I guess we'll get into the other stuff later on. But yeah, I thought it was a pretty good episode, and I give it an A.
Awesome. Okay, very good.
Very good. Very good assessment.
In other words, if you go lower than a B, Danny's
I guess some of us are just easy to please. Okay,
I can see comics with his B. I give him that, but that C, I don't know what he's smoking. I don't want none of that shit.
For me, okay. I still think the Ahsoka episodes are best, but I guess, you know, I perk up when I see Jedis, you know, Jedis and Sith. That's what I want to see. So when they did that for me, I was like, okay, I can give it an A for that.
Okay. Gaiskar, go ahead, and 5 minutes. Go.
I want to hear this grade right here.
Well, I enjoyed the whole episode, honestly. Like JJ and Anzo and pretty much everybody know nitpicking was nitpicking. I really had to find things to not like. I love the whole Slave One scene. You know, the boarding. I had a question about the boarding. How the hell did he get into that type of ship by boarding, right? But you know, those are like, you know, little nitpicks there and here. I did like the scene with Dune and the Imperial pilot. The whole showdown, the back and forths, because it really showed more about her character, right? And obviously she went through something with the loss of Alderaan, right?
Yeah.
So that I really like that part, the fact that he shot him dead right there with the doctor right next to him, right? It reminded me of Speed, right? Shoot the hostage type thing. But I also like the inverted Slave One when it flew by, and you can actually see Boba Fett right in the cockpit of Slave One. You know, like, you know, a little shout out to Top Gun there on Maverick being inverted. Also, the fight in the cantina, I had no problem with that whole back and forth. I actually loved the back and forth with Bo-Katan and Boba. You know, especially when she said, you know, when her reaction when he heard his voice, like her face was like, "This is a clone, right?" And the whole, you know, you mean your donor when he says this is my father's armor? Because what people don't know, right? And yeah, I don't know if it's canon or not canon, but Django was Mandalore. You know, he was leader of the Mandalorians at one point. So I like the fact that, you know, he's kind of throwing, you know, this was my father's armor kind of for the people that, you know, read the books and the comics and all that.
Yep.
I love the fact with Fennec, her character showing her martial arts, kicking ass. The TIE fighter deployment scene, I loved seeing that. I don't know why. I was like, "Ooh, this is cool." You know how the TIE fighters were coming in.
Yeah,
and
I like that too.
The whole Luke scene, I loved it. I found it a little bit copying from, you know, Rogue One's Darth Vader scene when he was coming down the path. I like the fact how they mimicked Anakin's moves from, you know, Episode 3, right, Rise of the Sith, and, you know, the whole crushing scene, that was like awesome. The whole fact when I saw the TIE fighter right away, I saw the blue on R2, so I'm like, oh, for sure it's him, type thing. The thing
You mean X-Wing, right?
X-Wing, yeah. What did I say? TIE fighter? TIE
You
fighter,
said
yeah. Yeah,
I said the same thing too. Freudian.
I did. He did it.
The thing I had a problem with was the whole Bo-Katan refusing the Darksaber. But then again, a lot of things could have happened on Mandalore that possibly she fought for it. Somebody challenged her, just like someone challenged Sabine. Sabine had to fight for it in Rebels to take it. So did she have to fight someone, and that's why? You know, we don't know. Those are like little gaps, right? We only can assume. Luke CGI, you know, exactly like everybody said. The beginning when you first see him, you're like, oh shit. But then when he started talking, you're like, eh. The Death Troopers, I caught a problem with them when they came back from the vacuum of space. They didn't have their guns. They lost their guns in that scene, and then when they reappeared, all of a sudden they have their guns when they landed on the catwalk. So, do they have them on their back? You don't see it; they just appear.
The RoboCop, it goes in their leg.
Yeah, they're magnetized on the side of their leg.
They're alive. You're coming with me. So yeah, so basically that's my my likes and dislikes. We're talking about.
Look at them when they come back in the airlock on Gaiskar. They got them on their leg, like they're magnetized or something.
Yeah.
Really? I'll check it out.
I guess Sabine did have to fight.
Wait, Shell. Hold on just a second. Let's keep this in order somewhat. Gaiskar, what is your overall
I have
score?
to rank it as much as I rank the Ahsoka one, an A+.
Yes.
Okay.
Very good.
There's no such thing, but I understand. Okay. Anyways. All right. So what were you going to say?
Go Canada.
That's it. I was saying that I guess Sabine did have to scuffle a little bit when she got the dark saber. But yeah, I mean, she did just give it to Bo-Katan, so you know maybe.
I'm not arguing that point.
Technically, you know that's the deal.
Did you see Sporking, Chris?
Well. Also,
I'm looking.
He said he can't get back on his laptop. You sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Maul also fought the leader of Death Watch for the Darksaber.
Well, that makes sense because they're actually challenging for it. But Sabine willingly gave it over. I mean, those scenarios completely make sense. But
it happens.
She's like, "Here you go," and she took it, and that was it.
Yeah.
But what I was saying is that maybe someone that we don't know about challenged, you know, Bo-Katan, because notice Bo-Katan here, she has a scar over her eye. Obviously, something happened. Something seriously happened on Mandalore. So did she at one point have to fight for it? Yeah. Someone challenged
the
her.
Empire basically trashed Mandalore.
Right. Maybe they're like, well, you know, you you can't do it twice. Okay, you can't just let somebody give it to you twice. Okay, so I don't know.
No, but realize when the Empire took over Mandalore.
Yeah.
Remember, she keeps saying if we would have shown this type of fight or this type of, you know, we would have given them a battle. So obviously there was division.
And the thing with
and between the Mandalorians when the Empire came back.
The thing with Django, I don't remember hearing anything about Django being Mandalore. The only thing I remember seeing or hearing it was that, you know, that he was a foundling, you know, just like they said in the show. But I don't remember. The only one I remember being Mandalore, you know, according to like the EU, you know, Boba Fett became Mandalore, you know, in the EU. But
Yeah, that's
you
legend.
know, I don't know about Django.
All right, guys.
Though.
Positive still hasn't gone. Let's get positives 5 minutes, and I can get my 5 minutes. We might actually have this done close to an hour, so we can talk a little bit about the main stuff, the bulk in there. Just to let you guys know, Austinator, you can stick around. Bear's supposed to be on his way. I guess Scott bragging about that laptop. That laptop decided, you know what? You want to brag about me? Watch this, motherfucker. Just kidding.
In the teeth.
Yeah. But no. Let's just go ahead. Positive, please. Go ahead. 5 minutes. Tell us everything you got to say.
Okay. Yeah, I'll start with my nitpicks first, I guess. Yeah, the CGI, did not look right to me. And of course, you know, you have a stunt double as Luke, obviously, doing all that stuff. Well, as Mark Hamill, I should say, obviously. It's really just his voice is the only part that Mark Hamill has in this episode when you get down to the nuts and bolts of it. But yeah, everything, and then the Rock'em Sock'em robots of the Dark Troopers was stupid. You only have two of them banging on the door, and others are standing behind them, goofy looking, just sitting there doing nothing. It's like, yeah, these droids, robots, whatever, are not exactly smart. You would think, yeah, they would break up into more than just a big row of a set of two, and find another way onto the bridge or whatever besides the main hangar bay. I mean, you can't crash through the windows or whatever, stuff like that. Yeah, leaves a little bit to be desired as far as they go. At one point during the fight of the Mandalorian and the one that got through the door, it knocked his Gaiskar spear off of his back, I think. And that's why in one part of the scene you don't see it because it's behind him and everything. And then he reaches forward and then jabs it up and kills or disables the Dark Trooper that at least had gotten through to him and everything.
Oh my God.
The whole the Dark Troopers, to me really is my main nitpick besides the CGI. They're just they're supposed to be kind of badass, but they're just not to me. They're clunky. Like I said, they form in those rows of two for no reason.
Bad programming.
Yeah. So yeah, it kind of took me out of it. And then and then Luke just sliced through them like nothing, and everything. But of course, I'm more forgiving of that, I guess, than anything. Why the whole kind of the ending is, I guess, them basically I guess they're going to reimagine the Star Wars Underworld TV series that they talked about originally, as far as it goes with the Book of Boba Fett and everything. That's to me what this, I guess, is going to and everything. But yeah, I mean, despite all those nitpicks with the robots mainly, Yeah, I'll still give this a solid A, just because of Luke. I mean, he elevates. I don't care if if it really wasn't him, but his voice it just elevates the episode to legendary status, basically. That's it.
Grade? What'd you say again?
An A.
Okay, all right.
A positive. It's better. It's better to be.
Not
better to
A
be
plus.
clunky. It's better to be clunky than McClunky. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you
And
actually
they
hear it
throw
was
that
mentioned?
in there. They
Yeah,
threw
they did.
that in there. I'm like,
Yeah, they
so,
did.
so you know what? I'm going to say this real quick. I don't buy for a minute when they tell us that was Lucas's final edit of A New Hope. When they sent it to him and they have the McClunky thing in now, they said, "Well, that's how we got it. That was what in the buyout. That was the last edit. Those were the last edits he had done." They said that the McClunky was in the edit that they received from him. I don't buy it now because why the hell would you even admit if you're trying to say it's his fault that it's a crap add in? Because everybody threw them under the bus for putting McClunky, and they're like, "Oh, that wasn't us. That was Lucas." And now they're throwing it in. It's like, yeah, no, that's them.
That is McClunky. That's McClunky right there. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Hey, Danny, there's somebody here that would like to use one of those lifelines.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How you doing, everyone? Chris, thanks for having me on. Chilling, guys. Hey, if I can, real quick, just put my 2 cents on this. This episode, actually, I did enjoy it. Now, just a few things I wanted to nitpick real quick. This Stormtroopers, right? They're all supposed to be copies of Jango Fett, right?
No, that was
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, so that has nothing to do with how stupid and dumbass they are as far as not being able to shoot their gun and just openly getting their ass whipped in this episode.
After the Clone Wars, the clones were phased out, put into like training to train other stormtroopers.
Dude, okay.
Well, whoever trains these guys, they need to fire and replace that guy because they were just plain out dumb in this episode. I mean, some of them was like just looking right at the chick and letting them shoot it. I'm like, are you serious? You didn't even get a shot off.
Okay. All right. Since you brought it up, all these people bitching about fucking stormtroopers, okay? In the original freaking movies, okay, the very first damn movie, okay, there's a whole bunch of them running away from Han fucking Solo, one damn guy, okay, just running back and forth down the goddamn hallways, okay?
It's him and Chewbacca, and that gun Chewbacca has is pretty badass, if you ask me.
This shit happens, okay, this shit happens because they're the freaking heroes of the show.
Okay. Needless to say, needless to say, they were under attack. It's like red alert, and you got stormtroopers like la la la. Oh, like you serious? Really? Kidding me? Second, who puts a damn car? Who puts a damn? You got these badass dark troopers, and you put them in a freaking cargo bay. You don't have like a special room for that. And they pulled up a card and opened up the garage door and flushed them out into space. Second of all, I mean, if they weigh like 50 tons, isn't that heavy enough not to be moved by a decompressing room? You know what I mean? Like, aren't they heavy enough not to be blown out like feathers out the door? I don't know. Third, how the hell does plasma jam? Okay, wouldn't that like melt the gun?
Power cells.
Wouldn't that melt the gun? Like you jamming plasma, for God's sakes, using magnetics. The whole point of the technology is to hold the plasma so it doesn't touch anything, so it gets shot out. How the hell does that jam? Have no clue. Love seeing a Darksaber versus Stick. That was awesome. And the one thing I really would love to have seen is when she said, "Don't open that door." And instead of going over there to push the button, because you already know for a fact that they were punching that door so much that they busted it open, I would have loved to have seen Luke just force open up the doors. I don't need to open a button for me, man. I'm here. And just force open those doors. That would have been awesome. But overall, Disney's doing a great job. It looks like they're finally learning and giving us something that is half decent, especially after that shitstorm piece of crap endgame that they gave us.
That's one, Danny. That's one.
Just to add to the whole Beskar thing, you notice how this time though they made the Beskar go red when there was prolonged contact with it, right? because a lot of people were saying how come lightsabers can't go through Beskar and
Mhm.
the last couple of episodes. I like the fact that they addressed that.
Yeah, it showed. I like that. Okay, I'm gonna take my 5 minutes. So let me make sure. Yeah, okay. Bear's not here yet. We're gonna leave that spot open for Bear. But 5 minutes. Well, it was a pretty pedestrian level episode. I was just sitting there the whole time going like, how are you gonna wrap this up? How are you gonna get to the point? Yeah, okay, you're on the ship. Good, great. I did like the way they entered the ship. It was done very well.
Well done.
Moff Gideon knew it was bullshit. He knew what was going on. He knew this was them. There's just no way, because just the way he acted, he's like, no, send the TIE fighters, send the TIE fighters. And I loved the fact though that they, Boba was out, trying to not fire on him, but he did make it look convincing enough. And then I did like that whole firefight and the entrance into the light cruiser. I didn't have much of an issue with the way that everything was getting fought in there. Yeah, the stormtroopers took a step back again. Obviously, when they're needed to be good, they'll be good. When they don't need to be good, they won't be good. And Shell's right. This has to do with the fact that it's the heroes, and these obviously are non-dispensable people. If they were dispensable, which is why I say we're going to see Bill Burr back.
They would die.
Okay,
well, that's why you add cannon fodder to make.
I know, and that's the thing. Give us a few extra people. Every season when you start, give us like 5 people, and as the season goes, let one of them get whacked. I'll tell you what. I'll go. We'll go with that next week. I'll go into that. But so they get there, they're doing all this stuff. I liked the fight between him and Moff Gideon. I liked it. I understand it was he should have known. I think he knew, but he turned his back on him. He should have known he was bullshitting him. But
yep,
it was good enough, because I'm looking at this fight, since we've already heard from Giancarlo Esposito that he's back next season. I'm looking at this fight like the first fight we saw between Johnny and Daniel in Cobra Kai. It wasn't much of a fight. They traded a few blows, but then they had to back off. I look at that like this. This is that tension breaker where, okay, we're going to break the tension for just a second by letting them fight, but they're not really going to get anything done. He takes him back thinking that he's done what he said he was going to do. He's going to leave him alive, give him to Bo-Katan. And then all he did was pick up the dark saber. That's the big problem here. He didn't best Moff Gideon. He stopped and basically apprehended him. I don't think that counts as winning the dark saber. But
I thought you knocked it out.
Well, he did, but that doesn't mean anything. He stopped from when you talk about a duel, when you're fighting for something that has to be won in a duel is won basically by death. That's how I mean, even back when people used to, do duels in this format of play, when people used to duel, Aaron Burr, I can't remember the other guy now. Hamilton. The reason why it happens is one of you is dead and the other one isn't. That's who gains the honor. That's who gains the spoils. And in this format, that would have worked. Well, he didn't follow through. So when he brings him to her, then if she wishes to finish the job, I guess you let him do it. If not, she takes it. Whatever. I don't know. I mean, but it just doesn't seem really well thought. They just kind of made this thing up and said, here, this is how it is. I can look past it. It's fine. I saw the X-Wing. I thought they're not going to. I was like, they're not going to. They're not going to. It's going to be Ahsoka. It's just, I literally thought they were going to so punk us. It wasn't even going to be funny. I loved Luke in it. Yes, I think it was more a deep fake than real good CGI. Although I have now found out for almost a year now they've been working with Mark Hamill on this part.
That is correct.
I will say this: that is the best news you can have as a Star Wars fan. This is almost on par with Luke, I am your father. This is almost on par with that because nobody let it leak. Be happy Mark Hamill didn't let it leak. The last thing I'll say about this, they've opened Pandora's box. For better or for worse, they've opened Pandora's box with Luke. And that's where we're at right now. For now, like I said, we're going to open up this. We're going to leave this spot open for Bear when he gets here. We'll get his 5 minutes or whatever worth. But let's start right there.
What's your grade?
My grade, I'm going to give it a solid B plus.
Really?
It just was pedestrian up until the time, and I loved Luke. Again, it's like why I rank Rogue One where I rank Rogue One. It's because mostly of the Darth Vader scenes. The rest of it, it's pedestrian, but I don't care about the characters. I don't have to care about the characters. It's all about the emotions that get us to a spot we know about. But
Hey Chris.
Yeah.
My laptop's getting low. I'm gonna try and switch over to my phone. So I'll be back. But
you're good.
Real quick before I do log off and try to get back on. Another thing about the stormtroopers. Okay, stormtroopers are supposed to be badass. Freaking Princess Leia freaking nailed one. Okay, in the first movie too. So just freaking Jesus about the damn stormtroopers.
Okay,
Shit.
Mr. Mackey.
Right. I'll be back.
All right.
That's what the stormtroopers say.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Okay, so
the phone.
I'm going to let you guys. Hey, Shifty, how you doing? Good to see you in the chat too. Everybody, Flash, Tim, all you guys. Again, everybody in the chat. Thank you very, 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 very much for being here. All right, I say they opened Pandora's box because here's the thing: they gave us Luke like we'd all asked for. I think this is a definite reaching out. And everything they've announced is a reaching out, saying we need to fix this. We know we're going to try.
But don't you think it's too little, too late, though? This is the thing that makes me mad about this is the fact that this is what we should have seen from the beginning, but they didn't. They didn't
exactly. Here's the thing: this is typical Disney. Let's build in what we forgot. Let's inject into what was bad, what we needed to put in, and afterthought. It's all afterthought with them. But I say it's Pandora's box because here's the thing. They've opened it up. If they don't give us any more Luke at all, they have screwed us over again. Now you've put 5 seconds into this thought of let's bring Luke back. Ooh, ah, wow. Now you got to give it to us in a series. You have to put him in the series. He's got to be somewhere now because you have opened up the box to let him out.
Do you want him basically portrayed by, I guess, Sebastian Stan or whoever?
I want let me answer that question really quick. I don't necessarily want a series. I want a Star Wars story, The Legend of Luke Skywalker. And you put the time to de-age or do what they did with Grand Moff Tarkin, sorry. I'm okay with that. That's what they need to do because they need to put the money and the time if they're going to do it that way. If not, yes, I'm okay with him being in a series. The guy you just mentioned. Let's just kind of make sure we all take our turns and let other people speak, but we'll kind of open forum this. What does this mean for Star Wars at this moment with Luke being revealed? Anybody, go ahead.
I can go. I think that honestly they're fixing what the fans wanted to see, what the Luke we expected, right? Not the Luke we got. And I have a feeling they're gonna either try and relaunch him or show him in a series in order to correct that, or they're gonna use the World Between Worlds theory and come out with a whole different trilogy or mini series or whatever just to correct that.
I agree
Disney
with that.
doesn't make mistakes. That's the only thing I have to say.
Yeah, but they have.
Mm-hmm.
They're admitting it in certain ways, but they're not going to wipe out their trilogy.
But they did that. But they did that to save Ahsoka. They knew Ahsoka was a moneymaker, and that's what they did in order to get her back, in order to bring their moneymaker back, right?
It seems like every franchise got this.
Bringing her back didn't change a whole sequel trilogy. You know what I mean?
But it gave you, what we got now.
Yeah, but if they do that with Luke, they're erasing the whole sequel trilogy, and they're not going to do that.
Well, they made the money off of it, right? It's all about money.
Yeah, but no, it's also about Disney's never wrong.
They're admitting they're wrong right now.
No, we say they're wrong. They won't admit it.
Yeah, they will never admit they fucked up.
If they deviate from the course of Return of the Jedi to The Force Awakens, they will be admitting that they were wrong, and they won't do that.
Yeah, that's kind of my point of frustration with this, that all roads still lead to Jake Skywalker.
Exactly.
You guys had open panels. I'll hop back up.
Basically, episodes 6.2, 6.4, and 6.8. Basically, something in between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens as the next trilogy, basically. That's
well, they don't even have to give us trilogies. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was going to say, what I think they would do if they were going to do that, they would do a series explaining how Luke got to where he was in The Last Jedi instead of just trying to erase it.
Right. That's a good point.
If you guys read my chat in the comments, I think Grogu got killed by Kylo Ren when he destroyed the temple and killed everybody. That's an open end for Grogu.
It is. I mean, until they do something like that, until they head down that path. Here's the deal. I did the math. You're talking about 19 years right now between what we just saw in this episode. 19 years, give or take. 19 years between this and Ben Solo turning. You have 19 years of exposition you have never given us. That I don't think they'll do a trilogy. I think they will do 2, maybe 3 type of Star Wars stories. If they were smart, they would do one with Luke with a little bit of Leia in it. They would do one with the beginning of the First Order, and probably one in between that's kind of a combination of both, or show us exactly what happened when Ben changed. But I mean,
I'm of the opinion really that Grogu is basically not even going to be at this temple that Luke is training Ben at it in the first place.
But he did say he was going to train
or any other place, really. I mean, he trains them for a certain amount of time, but to keep them safe, which he said he was going to do, I think eventually he has to take them to Dagobah or some other place like that that would mask, his presence basically there.
Maybe his idea with keeping him safe is with the other temple, with the other Jedi, other younglings, other trainings. That's keeping him safe, and he's there this time, protecting them. Maybe that's his idea of keeping them safe, because he did get trained by different Jedi masters. So he was being trained in the Jedi Temple on Coruscant. So who's to say that Luke didn't take him to the temple where he's trained Kylo to be trained with other Jedis?
Well, Kylo doesn't really come into the picture until, 10 or so years from now?
The kid is 50.
Right, and the child is barely growing in 19 years. It ages very, very slowly. So number one, even though it's going to get a lot of training, it's not going to be any really older looking than it is now. Number one. So you can, if you want to have a show with a kid 200-300 years, 500 years from now when it's way older, yeah, I could see that. But and then you explain how that occurred, whether he was hitting on Dagobah or whatever. you know.
They could pull an Orville and have the kid have a growth spurt.
Hey guys, here's a thought. Maybe, especially since Favreau's around, maybe that they'll get smart, okay, and they'll just put the freaking Reylo freaking trilogy in its own little freaking timeline or whatever, so those people will won't totally freak out, and maybe
they're not going to separate these two. They're not going to separate. They're not going to. They're just not going to. Disney does not make mistakes, and I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying they don't make. That's just that's how they believe it.
Dr. Doolittle.
Look at the track record. Elihu, hold on.
I know. I'll back out because Nicholas wants to say something.
Bear's here, so go ahead.
Yeah.
And yeah, please. Thank you.
I saw that. Don't worry. I'm paying attention.
Yeah, I mean, I understand. There's a lot of people who are saying that they're going to separate this time. They're not. They're just not going to. Should they? Probably. I mean, it's not the first. It's not the first franchise that has multiple timelines. They can make it work. If Star Trek can make it work, Star Wars can figure out how to make it work.
It's Star Trek. There's always been like time travel and time stuff involved. So
and it's not been here.
Not in Star Wars. And here's the thing. And this is what's going to happen. Is what they need to do is come out and say, we apologize, we fucked up Star Wars. We're going to make things right going forward. That's never going to happen.
Hold on, Nick. Bear's trying to come in.
Don't hold your breath for the apology.
Okay, guys, wait. Time out for a second.
I can get out.
Austinator, can you jump to the back really quick? Nick, stay in, and I'll get Bear to come in. I'm going to let Nick say something, and then Austinator, I'll have you come back in, okay? Austinator.
You might need to back him out.
All right, hold on.
You've
All right,
been kicked out.
Okay.
All right. Shall I just go for it?
Yeah, just add what you want to say.
Yeah, with how this all roads lead back to the sequel trilogy. I mean, I think obviously Disney will never admit they're wrong. Otherwise, I will straight up stop eating pizza. Like if they ever admit it, which would break my heart a lot. But anyways, I think at best the best we can hope for. I mean, I wouldn't say hope for because we all hope to have the sequel trilogy undone. But I think the best that we'll get is elements of the trilogy will never be brought up again. It'll be some things will just fade into obscurity. I do think the idea of the First Order is going to continue to be a thing no matter what. If it ain't the First Order, maybe it'll just be, under a different name, umbrella, so they don't carry the stigma of the sequel trilogy at best. But in characters like your Rose and purple-haired lady from Last Jedi, she has no name to me, and I don't even know it, but I'm going to keep it as no name. And then characters like Poe and Finn, who there's aka baddest pilot in the galaxy, but now one day I watched and I felt, wow, this is the baddest pilot in the galaxy. Stuff like that will just never be brought up again. As for Adam Driver's Kylo Ren, that could go both ways. I mean, there was some reception to him, even from people who hated the sequel trilogy. It's hard to say where that go, but there will be elements that I think. If we get anything better than that, awesome. I'm just being very realistic about what we'll get going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I just don't see the point. You have Ahsoka already in this. You've already added Ahsoka.
Oh yeah.
I don't see what the point is to bring Luke into this.
I agree, honestly.
If this is a one and done.
Yeah.
That's why I say it's Pandora's box. Pandora was so interested in what was in the box. In this case, Disney was so... Okay, we've seen what they did with The Rise of Skywalker. It was all about fan service. They thought they were doing everything they could to fix it because they were listening to the fans. Oh, they want this, they want that. And then it became a discombobulated mess because they did too much. They tried too much, and it just didn't come together because it was all just really... quickly interjected here and there, and then you add Kathleen Kennedy's reshoots and add it. It became.
There's only one hole in that theory.
Wait, go ahead. What?
The whole on that theory is that Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger's running the show. Now we got people asking me what the fuck they're doing. Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. So I have trust in those. I don't have, nobody had trust in the other two.
I know. So here's the thing. You opened up this box now because now the only thing anybody associated with Star Wars, I'm just going to put it that way, and that means Kathleen currently, hopefully here in what, 3, 4, wait, what's today? Tomorrow. Tomorrow, technically, if I remember right, is the end of her contract, is it not? The 21st?
It will get extended. She is not going anywhere, dude.
And Iger isn't either. Right. So, Iger's going to stay CEO until this whole what's going on is gone. Because
I think it's supposed to be sometime next year, like early next year.
It's supposed to be February, but yeah, she ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, I don't think so. And again, I'll put my little video in the chat if you want to watch it sometime about what I think they might do, but that's besides the point. But everybody associated with Star Wars and Lucasfilm right now, after the monumental F up that Rise of Skywalker was, it's like, well, what do we do? What do we do? And they all focused in on the one thing that everybody still brings up, which is Luke was not my Luke. So what do we need to do? Well, they love Darth Vader. Let's give them a reverse Darth Vader scene with Luke. That's great. But now you have the responsibility to follow that up and keep what we want of Luke, at least for a while, until you can show us an exact moment where he began to turn to this hermit. Ooh. If you want to keep your sequel trilogy, which they do, we know they do, but that's the only option now they have. They have literally backed themselves into a corner where they have no other option but to show us now how that happened. And maybe I'm wrong, but that's how I see it.
I can see where you're coming from on that.
Can I say
boy, that's a transition.
It's like who's they, Kimosabi? Okay, there's like probably we know Cray KK. Okay, we know about her. Okay, but
hold on,
the thing
Shell,
is,
hold on just a second. Let Danny speak because Danny asked to say something first, please, and then we'll come back and I'll answer your they question. Danny, go ahead.
I'm saying it seems like what you're saying is Star Wars will never be able to win and get back because for a long time they said whatever Kathleen Kennedy or whatever whoever was in charge try to do something. That's not this, that's not that. They did something totally different that the fans should like, and some fans are still nitpicking it. So I feel like Star Wars is in a position now where they damn if they do, they damn if they don't. I don't see how they open up Pandora's box by trying to reset stuff. If you can't say on one show, I want to see something different. Then they show you something different, and 2 shows later you're saying, well, they're doing this, that. I mean, you can't have it both ways. Right now, the direction that they're going in with Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, I think is excellent.
Yes, I'm not saying it isn't. I am not saying, but you're absolutely right. They are damned if they do. They are damned if they don't, because there's only one course of action now. Luke Skywalker, and much like how he mentions, and it's so appropriate more and more now as we go further into all this Disney stuff. What he says is, I bought into the legend of me in The Last Jedi. Well, this is exactly the problem. You have now opened that legend up, and now you must show it. What made him legend? All we had before was he redeemed his father. He was a part of redeeming his father. That was the end of it. Now you have just given us the legend of Luke Skywalker in what was that? All of 5 minutes, fully 2 minutes of true action. That now begs that you continue down that road.
Here's the thing too, is I agree with Danny what you said. This is the direction they should be taking it. I completely agree with you. The problem is I just don't care anymore. They've done, the last 5 years, that we've been dealing.
Comics.
Yes, it doesn't make up for the damage that Disney has done and the Access Media has done. It's great to see Luke being Luke again, but I just don't care anymore. That's my problem.
Okay. Really quick here, Bear. It's good to see you. Thank you very much for being here. I know you had today's been a crazy day for a lot of us.
Yeah,
do me a favor.
my grocery order got delayed, and then I had to pick the kids up and all that from the park.
Yeah, I know how that goes. I'm going to give you a second to get what everybody else got, which is 5 minutes to give us your overall thoughts on the episode, your likes, dislikes, and a grade. 5 minutes to do that. I'm going to give you that, and then we'll go back to this whole conversation on Luke. Remember, guys, we also have the final episode next week that we can continue the Luke stuff. So we're going to kind of go into the Boba Fett stuff here in a second. But go ahead, Bear. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to do that.
Overall, my overall reaction from beginning and then the end, I fucking cried, and then I got angry. I got real angry. I liked it, loved it, and then at the same time, kind of hated it, but loved it. Had really, really conflicted emotions about it. And kind of the way I'm looking at it, the storyline they went with, I smell a retcon coming, and I hope they do. But I'm kind of with comics. I'm kind of like almost beyond it. I'm almost beyond caring. I have probably maybe 2% left of caring left, if that. And I like what the Mandalorian's doing. I like what they did in this episode. It was good overall, and I just hope they can. The people that are in Lucasfilm that are like having a civil war with each other, get that shit straightened out and get rid of the fucking toxic people. And how hard would that be to do, you know? And it'd be nice to see. It would be a change, and if they would actually just stop shitting on the fans.
Okay. All right.
But,
and what's your overall grade?
I give it an A.
Okay.
Very good.
All right. Let's kind of let's wrap it up on the thoughts of Luke Skywalker. Let me make sure Elihu doesn't have anything else to say while you guys are. I mean, are we under the impression here that now that they've, and I understand you may not care so much, but are you open, and do you think that the only place that they really have to go now that they've brought him back to this whole thing is they need to give us either more of him integrated into other things that they're doing, or a movie or his own series?
Can I say one thing on that?
Go ahead, comment. Danny, go ahead.
Anzo and I were on a channel last night, and there's somebody who has an insider, and the information seems very, very credible. And they're saying that, yeah, they told him a couple weeks ago that Luke was going to be in there, pretty much what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
They're also saying about Kathleen Kennedy is going to be out of here sooner than later. And I think, if I remember correctly, Anzo, correct me if I'm wrong, that next season is going to be more about how Mando is going to be taking over and become the ruler of the Mandalorian planet. So, like I said, I don't want to call nobody name, but we were on the stream last night, and somebody that
I'm pretty sure I know who you're talking about.
I think I know too. But I got people I hear about this too. All I know
That's
is
a pipe dream. I hope. That's a pipe dream.
After the episode, they texted me and said, "What did you think about the ending?" And I hadn't seen it yet, and I didn't answer him back because I did not want to even find out what it was, because I figured Grogu died, somebody died, something happened. Anyways, when I watched it, I said, "Holy shit!" I said, "When did they decide to bring him back?" And he said, "It's been in the process for about a year." And I'm like, "No way, there's no way." And then I see the stuff coming out now, and all of these things saying, "Yes, Mark Hamill's been a part of this for a year." All I know is that what I've been told is Kathleen Kennedy probably is not going anywhere anytime soon. Actually, that's what I've been told.
Yeah, I agree. I think
and I'm not really sure about where the Mandalorian's going. I think maybe this Book of Boba might take over it, because it's almost making it sound like the Mandalorian was, because they're doing chapters. It sounds like this is the second book of The Mandalorian, but it's going to be called The Book of Boba, and now we're going to continue chapters, and it's going to be focused in more on to Boba Fett, because I think with The Mandalorian taking off his helmet, it's kind of like a final chapter of his story. He has come full circle to realize important things, blah, 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 whatever. I could be wrong. But yeah, I mean, the Mandalorian thing, it could be that, but I don't buy for a second that Kathleen's going anywhere, especially with the current state of everything.
Well, the person that told us this information, it's not the first time he told information about Disney, and he was correct every single time. So I believe him. The person that told him about Luke was actually the stunt double in the series. So the stunt double, he has that kind of a connection.
Why didn't they say anything beforehand?
What do you mean?
I would have thought that if you thought Luke was going to be in this, you might have said something ahead of time.
No. He spoke to the guy a little bit before the episode had started. Right before the episode, about a week before the episode came on. So the guy told him, he said, listen, this next episode, he told him Luke was going to be in it, told him what was going to happen, and then he said that Disney is about to have some serious shakeups that nobody else knows about yet.
Hey,
So-
Chris.
Mm.
Chris. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about Luke, okay, and all the people that are like, oh, I just don't really care anymore because all roads are going to lead back to the Disney sequel trilogy, yada yada yada. Okay, if our hero, our favorite character, Luke Skywalker, would have had this same damn attitude, okay, Vader never would have been saved. Okay, so just keep that in mind, people. That's what irritates me about a lot of people.
I think you're reading too much into that, though. I think you're reading too much into that. And here's the thing:
some freaking hope. Have some freaking hope, people. Jesus, fuck.
I don't buy that, and I don't know right offhand. If you want to put it in the private chat, that's fine. I won't say who, but I don't know. I call into question the fact that the person in particular would get it before all these other outlets that tended. I mean, especially after the whole of.
But he knew somebody. Why is that impossible?
Yeah.
But he knew somebody. Why is that impossible?
I didn't say it is. I'm just saying I find it highly improbable that
But he was
one
right,
person gets a hold of it. Yeah, of course. But you said right before. I mean,
Yeah, he told the person before the episode aired what was going to happen, and everything that was going to happen happened.
I'm just saying.
Hey, one more thing. Hey, one more thing. Okay, Bear. Okay, Bear predicted Boba Fett. Okay, so now when Bear says I smell a retcon, okay, we might want to listen to him a little bit.
I don't know.
That's actually, it's not
just
my
saying.
theory. I heard that floating around. I can't claim that.
I cannot see again. I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm not saying any of you guys are wrong. I don't buy Disney doing anything to say, even in a gesture, we were wrong. We're sorry.
They're not gonna.
I know they're not gonna do it. That's the problem, though. That's the problem. Okay.
They're not going to say it. Okay, they're not going to directly say it. They're not going to directly say it. Okay, but how they can say it is freaking keep going down.
Are you fine with that?
They can keep going. They can keep going down this good path that we're having a vibe on right now. Okay, and they can say I'm sorry by doing that retcon that Bear is smelling. Okay, they're not going to come out and directly say it. Okay, so don't hold your fucking breath on that.
Oh, dude, I'm not holding my breath. I know they're not going to do it, but that's kind of the problem, though, for me, is that they went through all this shit. They basically called the fans istophobes using the Access media. And now they're like, oh, here's your Luke Skywalker. Why? Because our profits are tanking and we can't push our agenda because people aren't buying into it anymore. And this is the thing, and you guys are like, oh, thank you for Luke Skywalker. It just ignoring past all the shit that they did.
And that's what I'm saying.
I'm with Bear, dude. This thing pissed me off.
That's what I'm saying. This is Pandora's box. I sat there and I said they're going to punk us because that I would have been more acceptable of a punk where you make up some random BS story about how she got Luke's TIE fighter and she comes. I would have been more okay with that because you're just
okay.
I don't know. For me,
Kennedy and Iger. Okay, Kennedy and Iger are not going to out and out say, "I'm sorry." Okay, those are the people that I'm referring to when I say that they're not going to say they're sorry.
I understand that.
Yes.
Now somebody else
we know
comes
they're not going
along.
to apologize. We
If
know.
somebody else comes along.
We know.
Guys, hold on. Hanzo.
Yeah, I was going to say, for me, though, I don't take it that serious. Yeah, they fucked up with the sequel trilogies. I get it. I fucking hated them. I hated Rogue One. I hated fucking sequel trilogies. I hated fucking Solo. You know what I mean? Mandalorian is not great, but it's okay. But if you give me some good Star Wars, I will be there. I'm not going to be like, oh, well, you know, give me some good Star Wars. I will be there. I will watch it. I will be at the theaters first day all the time because that's how I was. I grew up on Star Wars, so I always hope for a good Star Wars movie. I mean,
I'll forgive it, but I won't forget it.
I'm with you, JJ. At the end of the day, we gotta realize this shit is fake. It ain't real. No reason to bust gaskets. Be mad. It's fake. It's fake.
That is correct.
Yeah, you are correct, but you know, it's at the same time we're allowed to be mad about it.
We are absolutely allowed to be mad about it, especially after the istaphobisms. I do get where Comix Division has that resentment. I also do have to remind myself, as resentful as I have some of that to a degree, I also remember that some of those people don't represent every single one in the entire company, because if that were true, then we'd be holding Gina Carano to the fire as well. So not everyone working on their umbrella thinks that way. So, and we have obviously Jon Favreau as well. So I will just gladly target. I won't forget the people who are directly saying those comments. The Kathleen's.
That's
of the
because
world,
Gina
Ryan
is a goddess.
Johnsons.
Okay.
Well, Gina has done more for the Star Wars franchise than anyone else attached to the sequel trilogy.
Oh, by far and large.
She has done so much to try and build goodwill, and I respect what she's doing.
And she actually tries to communicate with fans, you know, on Twitter and Instagram. And I've seen it, and I've been following her since season 1 release. And I remember, like, I was shocked to, like, see her feed with her just being as cordial as she was. Just to a regular Joe Schmo, like any of us on this panel, I was just like, holy shit. Like,
well, the Re Squad. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, Nick. The Re Squad doesn't like her.
Well, that's fine.
No,
they don't. They're the one day their cause will be extinct.
Okay,
but here's the thing. Also, for every one Gina Carano, we have 30 Hal Hickles running around.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. No, and you're right.
Well, the one Gina Carano could kick his ass. So.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
All right, Chris. Hey, Nick. I think somebody's trying to come in from.
I'll back up. That sounds good.
All right.
Going back to what you were saying about Luke and expecting to see more of him, I think if they go ahead with that way too fast, they're gonna fuck it up. They should.
I'm not saying do it now.
Like they should just see what build off of the hype that they build now. Take time and do it right.
All right. Hold on.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They just right now.
Anybody notice how they stole Marvel's thing and did that scene credit?
Yep.
Yeah.
Straight.
Yeah, I mean that's a Favreau thing, and that's fine.
Oh, you're talking about the
end
robots when they kneeled down when they got back in from outer space when they were. Yeah, I've seen that too.
Notice how the font in at the end with Boba Fett was the same font that they used for the translation of the guy, forgot his name, who was sitting on the throne. It was the same font, exactly like Return of the Jedi.
That particular scene you're talking about, I had a Conan experience when he was sitting there. You know the scene in one of the Conan movies that shows Conan old sword on his throne. Yeah. I was I totally got Conan vibe off of that.
Yeah, I agree.
That is true.
Forgot about that. Yeah.
for a quick second, when I saw that, when I just saw the picture of it, right? I'm like, holy shit! They have him sitting on the freaking throne of Mandalore, but no, it was just Boba's.
No.
Jabba's palace.
But you kind of can see he's thinking something, and we know in the EU he became the Mandalore.
Yeah.
Hey, Final, how you doing?
What's up, Final?
What's up, Dad?
I love the
Merry Christmas.
get up you got there. Hey, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to tell us all you got about this, what you liked, what you didn't like, your final grade, all of that.
Okay.
I've given everybody 5 minutes, so I'm gonna let you go ahead and do that. Go ahead and go.
Overall, I think this episode has finally brought some hope back to Star Wars, at least for me. It hasn't undone everything. Obviously, there's still some questions and issues with where they're going to take this. But I mean, the whole episode can be summed up, and obviously the Luke / Vader Rogue One scene. It's what we wanted for how long now? It took them 10 minutes to give us what we've been asking for 5 years. And it shows that they can do it if the right people are let alone. If true fans, people who actually respect the source material and the characters, are allowed to do what they want to do with the stories and the characters, actually honor what Lucas created, unlike what KK told him, in that famous interview. I mean, it's possible. There are people there like Favreau and Filoni, to an extent too, because you got to give them credit for being a part of this, that they can do it. The episode as a whole, it was pretty good. I like it. Wasn't a big build-up from last week, to the finale, so I wasn't quite sure what we were going to get, other than obviously they were going to attack the ship. I like the Dark Troopers. They had enough of a threat, I thought. I would have liked to have seen maybe Mando fighting more than just the one of them, but they had enough of a threat. I'm glad that they brought him back. When he hit their airlock and they all fly out, I thought, oh, this is like a James Bond moment, where he just does one little thing and gets rid of the problem. But yeah, but like this, I don't want to see James Bond in this. So I'm glad that they came back. I'm not sure why it took them so long to think to activate their thrusters to, fly. I think the ship was supposed to be stationary, but regardless, I like the fact that they came back. I think the fact that they were robots was probably intentional, so Luke could come in and just, clean house with them and not have to worry about people thinking he was like a murderer, just destroying people. So, yeah, but that scene, man, it just gave hope back. The CGI was okay. I thought it was better than what they did with Leia and Tarkin, in Rogue One, which was pretty impressive at the time. But I thought this looked even better than that. It's still, you can still see the mouth not quite on when he's speaking. But I mean, overall, I'm happy that they got Mark Hamill to do it. It sounded like they made his voice sound a little younger too. The scene with R2, man, when R2 came up, it was like, oh man, it took me back to Empire Strikes Back, where it's like, oh, this is R2 and Yoda, he's seeing like another little Yoda. And even the context of Luke, it was the perfect person to come and take baby Yoda, because he's got
it was a great emotional moment.
It was a great emotional moment, yeah, and it made the most sense that it was Luke, because Luke had the connection to Yoda. So sensing another version, another creature of that same species, of course it's going to be Luke. He's got to go and find out, So it made sense that it was him. We finally got the Luke Jedi Master that we wanted. It just left me with like more of a desire for them to change whatever they need to do to change the timeline, change the sequel trilogy, reduce it to legends, use World Between Worlds. I have so much like kind of excitement and hope now, but it's still in the back of my mind. It's like, I know where this leads. How could this Luke that we just saw turn into Last Jedi Luke? It's just unacceptable. They have to, whatever they can do. I don't even care anymore. I just want them to change the timeline, change the story. Because I can't have this Luke. I can't know that that's what happens to him. It's not like, this is the Luke that says training matters. And then freaking Rey, it's like they've set a precedent. They've established now training matters. Ahsoka said it. Luke said it. So what the heck goes on with Rey? That can't happen. It's not the same universe. That's not the same Luke, so they have to change it. Whatever they can do. World Between Worlds is an easy one because they've already established it. But I'm excited for the Boba Fett scene. Freaking awesome. Bib Fortuna getting taken out like that. He got all fat and he's like, relaxing. He became like Jabba. He became like a sloth like Jabba. I thought that was a really cool idea to make him kind of really lazy and, overweight. And then, Fennec comes. I like the Fennec's like his side girl, his right-hand man, so to speak. She compliments him pretty well. I'm looking forward to that show. That's a nice little spinoff that I wasn't expecting. Well, we kind of thought maybe they'd do something with it, but now it's confirmed that it's going to be something. And I really, this is like they're putting everything in place to do a Thrawn trilogy. You've got Thrawn coming back now you have Ahsoka, so it's not going to be exactly the same. But you've got like Luke and Ahsoka. Man, I want to see those two together because they have to interact with each other now. Now that Luke's brought in, they've got to. How would a student not want to meet Vader's kid, Anakin's kid? So, but yeah, I hope they do some kind of Thrawn trilogy and bring this all together. Have everyone do their spin-off shows, like they were trying to do with Solo, and then bring it together with Thrawn as the Thanos character. Kind of
overall grade
for this freaking an A, just because that Luke scene. That kind of takes care of whatever other issues I have with the show. It's like that scene was like, oh, okay.
Excellent assessment.
Huh?
I said excellent assessment. There's only one person on the board now that
Three of us that gave an A that I know
throughout the
of.
whole. You know how nobody's surprised that he didn't even say who he was.
That he was Luke Skywalker. Yeah, well, I was surprised that I actually thought Cara Dune should have said it. She should have known. She was a rebel.
Exactly.
She should have looked and said, "That's Luke Skywalker." She should have said something.
Exactly.
But I don't really care. It was obviously done for the the him taking off the hood slowly, and it didn't really matter. Mando knew who he was. He was a Jedi. They knew he was a Jedi.
The reason why I say this is because in Return of the Jedi, the first thing he says, "I'm Luke Skywalker." He announces who he is when he walks in the room, right?
Yeah, but now he doesn't even have to announce it. He took out Vader. He took out the 2 Death Stars. Like, I don't need to announce that.
He's got who I am.
He's got galaxy cred. Yeah, yeah.
I got a green lightsaber, motherfucker. That's
yeah.
who I
Like my
am.
lightsaber announces who I am. I thought Cara Dune could have mentioned, like, oh my God, that's Luke Skywalker. She should have known who he was, at least from the first Death Star blowing up.
Yeah, she could at least said General Skywalker.
Yeah, right. Yeah, General Skywalker. Yeah. Yeah. So that was a little missed opportunity. But again,
we'll just assume that she said it later.
Yeah, after he leaves the room, she could have been like, that was Luke Skywalker. Yeah. But
I think the second time in the room, Comix is feeling that A. Go ahead and say that loud, Comix.
What's that?
I was wrong. Do what Disney won't do and say that you were wrong by giving them a B.
Oh, I'm totally not wrong.
He's not.
That's how Disney feels.
Nice try, Danny. Nice
You're
try.
not wrong for giving it an A, Danny. I respect your opinion.
I'm messing with you, man.
I know you are.
The Danny mind trick.
Danny, he's just too jaded, man. He's just too jaded.
I admit it, dude. I am very cynical and jaded, especially when it comes to Star Wars.
Dude, we all are. We're all jaded, but damn, some of us have.
Does
to have
basically
some
the
freaking hope,
definition of a certain age after you get 49, you become jaded?
Maybe.
Well, it's like that episode of South Park. I suffer from cynical asshole syndrome. So.
Well, stop being a cynical asshole, okay?
All right, guys. We're gonna wrap this up. This is how we're gonna do it next week for everybody in the chat, guys. Next week, I think we're gonna do an hour and a half, split it up, do a 3-hour final. And what we'll do is we'll take half of you guys who are on the permanent panel, bring you in for the hour and a half, and then some of the people who are on the rotational group, and then we'll do the same thing on the back end. We'll bring the other set of people who are permanent into that one. So whichever time works best, I'll get with you guys and discuss it with you.
You said next episode is going to be 3 hours? Next show?
Hour and a half split panel. That way everybody can be on. We don't have to worry about the rotational crap or anything like that.
So it'll be part 1 and part 2.
Kind of, but it'll just kind of go, and we'll just have a point where everybody kind of flip flops, and we'll just keep it all one stream. Like I said, we'll talk about it in the chat and stuff. Yeah. So I mean, I fully don't believe anything that. I don't believe that they're ever gonna do anything to retcon. They might try to retcon little bits and pieces, but again, the only way for them to fully fix Luke, in most people's eyes, the only way that they could do it, that's not a retcon. That's a flat out denial that those sequel trilogies exist, and they're
They're
not
not with that attitude.
going to do that. I am not under the belief that Kathleen Kennedy has done at Disney. Is she done with Lucasfilm? Possibly, but not Disney. Again, I put the link to my video in there. There were things I've heard that make me wonder. And that's where I'll leave it. I don't know if it's going to happen. Again, I think a lot of this stuff is all conjecture.
Fans don't care if she's a part of Disney. We want her gone from Lucasfilm so she can go somewhere
fans
else.
don't give a shit if
She becomes president.
And that's what I've heard is a very possible thing. Then she's in charge of Lucasfilm. She's in charge of Pixar. She's in charge of Disney. She's in charge of it all. And
okay, shut up. You're gonna jinx it.
I'd love to see that.
Hey,
So
you know how King Midas turns everything to gold?
She turns
well,
everything to
with
shit.
her, she turns everything to shit.
Well,
I understand that, and that's what I'm very scared of. But
well, you know what? When the guy said about the shakeup, he just said the shakeup, and that would be a shakeup. So that is a possibility.
And that is something, and that's the thing. That's why I'm not sure exactly where. But the thing is that's a shakeup in the wrong direction.
That is
if you ask me, because as she gets her hand on Disney as a whole, not Disney. Disney's effed up anyway. So what's she gonna do there? Just keep doing the same shit they've been doing for a while. But
yeah, that's more like a
if
throw
she's
up
in
than a
charge of
shake-up.
things like Marvel or Pixar, and even Pixar's starting to go downhill, if you ask me. But again, that's all. I put the video in the chat. That's all. Watch it, don't watch it. It's fine. Guys, we're going to go ahead and let you guys run through real quick. Except for you, Gaiskar. Scott isn't here now, but you were the only one who is not a part of the original. Well, you and Nzo actually are the only ones that aren't a part of the group we had last year. So I will do you guys a solid and let you guys go first this time. Nzo, why don't you go and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found, please.
Not a problem. Appreciate it. Great show today. Love talking the Mandalorian with you guys. You guys know the channel Big Afford Entertainment. Got a lot of shows that we do. Square One, Equilibrium, whenever that one comes back, Danny. Square One, OCC, Off Our Chest, where we just talk about real life stuff, whatever we want to get off our chest. Rule of Three, Chaos Conversation, Chaos List. Sometimes we do some late night game streaming. Probably going to do one tonight. LDG, JJ, and Chris Knight's going to be on there, probably playing some Killer Instinct tonight. So if you guys are available, check that out. Do appreciate everybody that supports. And once again, thanks for having me on, and a great show today, Chris.
Thank you. And I appreciate you being here. Gaiskar, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found.
Yep, you can find me on the Basco Scenario. Don't have a video out yet, so please subscribe. So when my video does come out, you'll all be notified. But you can find me here on Sundays at the Mandalorian Roundtable. You can also find me at the Chaotic Conversation with Danny on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, when invited, I'm also find me on my brother Anzo's channel for the Chaos List, and also on Wednesdays on the OOC, where it's a open topic. We get things off our chest. Get the chat involved, and it's all thanks to my brother here next to me, Nzo, who got me on board onto this whole YouTube thing. Thank you, Chris, for having me. Thank you, everybody, for the panel. Chat, hit that like, hit that bell, because just spread the love. That's how we get it done.
And Gaishka's first video is going to be Tabasco sauce, guys, so check it out.
All right, guys, thank you. And Gaiskar, thank you very much for being here, too. I appreciate it. Let's go ahead. Comix, go ahead and come on in and tell us,
Come on in. I'm already here. What are you talking about?
Well, tell us about your channel, blah, 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 all that.
I'm messing with you, dude. You can follow me on Twitter at Comix Division. My channel's name is Comix Division. I I talk about things and stuff.
Okay.
Very descriptive, right?
That's
Things
very,
and
very
stuff.
things and stuff. Yeah, exactly. The stuff is what really catches
But
me.
what kind of thing? Are the things stuff?
All
or
types of
stuff
things.
It's things and stuff that are things and
Stuff.
things that are
Do you talk
stuff.
about stuffed things though?
Dirty
things.
stuff. Dirty.
Are you
Now
stuffing
you're
things
just making it
over there,
sound
or what?
dirty, man. That's
Yeah.
Fluffy and stuffy
Oh
things.
my!
oh,
My!
Oh my! Oh my!
Okay, Bear, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself, where you can be found, all the good stuff.
All right, this is Bear Nerd Fun, and you can catch me on Saturdays with Wes Moody, and occasionally when Final Death Star doesn't have school the next day or has something going on, he'll be there eventually at some time along the way. And you know, you never know who's going to show up. You got different characters just showing up here and there, and just a grand old fun time. And there is 32 songs in the Ghost Bear music playlist. Check them out. See ya Fridays too, because sometimes there's the Four Horsemen or the late edition on Friday. It's normally a little bit later. Normally after Gary and Nerdrotic's done with his live stream.
All right, let's jump down to Danny. Go ahead,
Danny.
there you are.
Hi, I'm Danny. Sorry about that. AKA Comic Chat. This is one of my favorite shows throughout the week. We have several shows that we do. Like Nzo said, I'm not going to go through them all because it's about 6 or 7. But definitely going to be looking forward to next Sunday to finish up this topic. I definitely think that Star Wars and the whole is heading in the right direction. I'm very happy and eager to see the upcoming Star Wars shows. I hope they'll be just as good as I think The Mandalorian was, with the exception of the one episode where I gave it a D-. To me, the rest of them were good. So I hope that Kathleen Kennedy does not have a hand in running the company. I hope that rumor is true. And I hope that they give it to Dave Filoni and Jon Favreau, and I hope that they both take us as far as they can take us. So, again, thank you again, Chris, for inviting me. Like I said, this is definitely one of my favorite shows to be on during the week.
Well, I'm glad you're here. I really am. I'm glad all you guys are here. Just again, I'll say that. Shellback, why don't you tell everybody about yourself, Shellback? There you are.
Well, sorry, I had to unmute myself and I double punched the button. Anyway, well, I unmuted it and then I muted it. Anyway, all right.
My name is JJ. My name is JJ.
Yeah, I'm starting to sound like Scotty.
Elihu, come on.
Anyway,
I'll behave.
So I'm not really doing much of anything on my channel. One of the reasons is my internet situation. I haven't even been showing up on Latino Slant lately or Bear's channel because of the time of their show. It starts to get a little bit too cold outside. Because that's how I'm on here right now. I'm sitting outside of my public library, and it's probably, I don't know, in the high 30s right now. So, but anyway, if you want, if you're just bored and you've got like a half hour to spare, I've got like a 26-minute video where I flip through a Star Wars Angry Birds book. And make silly little comments. It's got like 7,000 views in its life since I put it out a year or two ago. But anyway, just I don't know, subscribe to all these guys if you're not. Thanks. Good night.
All right. Next, JJ, go ahead.
Do I gotta?
Yes, you do.
Okay. All right. What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JJ. You can find me a little bit of everywhere. I'm not gonna go through it all again, but I just want to say thanks for everybody that showed up in the chat tonight, and check out these guys, man. They got content. Those that are putting content out, those who don't, look for new content. Subscribe, hit the bell, You know, it only takes a second. It don't cost nothing. The bell lets you know when new live streams start or new content comes out. You know, check all these guys out. Like, share, subscribe, and I want to thank everybody for showing. And I appreciate you guys letting me hang out with you tonight. Thanks a lot, Chris.
Not an issue. Really like having again. I like having all you guys here. That's why you're here. If I didn't like you,
Y'all gave me a good nap tonight. I appreciate it, man. Y'all were so peaceful.
You like me? You really like me?
really, you
I
had
did.
to do
I
that?
did.
I like it. Okay. Anyways,
You guys are so
He thinks I'm playing. I passed out right before we started
Alright,
talking
enough with
about
all this mushy
the meat
crap.
and potatoes. Yeah.
all right. Okay. Let's hear. Go ahead. Final. Tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
Well, I can be found over at my channel, Enter the Unfamiliar, as it's newly been dubbed. We talk about paranormal, UFO phenomenon, biblical prophecy, strange histories, strange mysteries and hidden histories. So if you're into any of that kind of stuff, come on over, check us out. I actually have a show beginning in roughly 25 minutes, so I'm going to have to get going out of here and head over there. But we're going to be talking about a little bit about the Yeti and fairly again the holiday spirit. So going to start to talk about that and probably continue it in our next show. But yeah, come check us out. We also go over some UFO footage and kind of talk about whether we think it's fake or not, or some stuff's pretty freaking crazy that we've been seeing. So yeah, check me out there. Otherwise, as my schedule allows, I'm on, like Bear said, I'm on with Bear on Saturday nights, on Rogue Entertainment on Tuesdays and Saturdays on author Stephen Walden's channel. And we just finished up with Nerd Cookies on her channel. Also talk about the Mandalorian, so you could watch the reviews that we gave on that show for this last season. And I want to thank you guys, every one of you guys on the panel. It's been a lot of fun talking about this show, especially because this show's actually been fun. So it's been nice to talk and maybe argue sometimes about like lore instead of the crap that we've been talking about for the last 5 years. I'm looking forward to seeing where they take this connected universe that they're kind of building. They tried to do it with Solo, it didn't work because it was terrible. But it seems like they're maybe trying to do it in the right direction, the right way of going about it this time. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes and picking it up next season. Thank you, Chris, for having me on. Appreciate it.
All right. If you got to go, by all means, you can drop it right out. But thank you, Final. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll get with you about how we're going to do next week.
Okay. Yeah. Sounds good. Sounds good.
Chris,
right, guys.
Chris, before you leave, I have a quick question.
Yep. I'm here.
Yeah. I heard that Yetis and Bigfoot are actually Wookiees that crashed here a long time ago. It's
they did a great little like comic about that where where Indiana Jones finds it's like Han and Chewie crash land on Earth. And Han dies, and Indiana Jones finds Chewie walking around and I think kills him.
They did that. They did that like 5+ years ago.
Yeah, it was a long time ago.
Yeah,
in a while now. Yeah, but I think you're onto something, Shellback. I think you're on to something.
I had a feeling. Okay.
All right, guys. I'll talk to you later.
Later, Final.
Last, unless I can get. Let me see here if Nick's still here. Go ahead, Elihu, and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found.
Okay. See, it's important to get the notifications. Otherwise, you wouldn't know when Final goes live. So
I'm just surprised that lately, for the most part, the notifications seem to have been working again. Except for, again, the rule of 3. I got a notification yesterday about 8:00 that we were live. And that happens on Wednesday. I'm like, what the heck? Anyways, okay.
The good thing is, if somebody clicks the bell and they get a late notification, it's on your rewatch playlist later. That's why I was asking you to click the bell whenever you're on my channel, because I have my own little science show every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific time called What's Up with the Universe, where we talk about astronomy, astrophysics, all sciencey time. And since we're talking Mandalorian stuff, make sure to, do you guys like this little picture of baby Yoda, Grogu, whatever you want to call him, the child? This was hand-drawn by Simone Bailey. Available for sale at SimoneBailey.com. If you don't aware who Simone Bailey is, give me a nerd card right now.
All right. Then Nick, go ahead and tell everybody about yourself and where you can be found, please.
All right. I can be found 32 Flavors of NickWeiser. I can be found on Netflix and Chill with Latino Slant. Obviously on this panel with all these wonderful gentlemen, the Roundtable, howling about entertainment right before this on Sundays. And of course, check out my channel. I've got a review on the KFC movie, and of course my best of 2020 albums this week. And I had a Star Wars review, or pretty much a reaction, that did well, and my subscribers went up and then they went down. So if anyone want to help a guy out to get that number back up, that would be great. And Chris, a big shout out to you, because you go above and beyond for every dude on this panel. Like, you are doing the undertaking of a job, and I can't stress enough how much I appreciate it with work schedules and all and the craziness. So thank you, and thank you to the chat as well, and to all the guys on the panel. Thank you all.
Well,
thank you.
I appreciate every last one of you. I know next week will be the end of this season of Roundtable. We'll have to see what they do, and maybe we'll be doing some other roundtables from some other shows. If you guys are interested, we'll see how, what the shows are and when they're coming out and stuff. That's still to be decided. But I did want to say, guys, thank you very much. You made it a great season. Of course, the show helped that a lot because, well, it brought up a lot of good discussion points. Last season was kind of a, good, but I think this season really upped the game and helped us out, make a great show. All of us. $5 super chat from Poe. Thumbs up. Thank you very much, Poe. I appreciate it very, very much.
$5.
$5, yeah.
With that said, guys, I am Chris Knight. The Real Review 3000 is my channel. Chaos Central is another channel that I take care of too. And Chaos Central, we're trying to get to 100 subscribers. I haven't checked it today.
Oh, he got it. Austinator, he got it.
Yes, he got it.
We are 96 away from, or 4 away from
4
100.
away.
You're 4 away from 100. I can do my math eventually.
I am 10 away from 100.
Well, that's cool. So Elihu needs 100. Chaos Central needs 100. I currently need, let me see here.
Sanity, a new brain,
135 still. 135 to get to 5,000 subscribers. If you guys know somebody who is not a subscriber, who has not been here before, and you think might like our particular content here on the Real Review 3000 or over on Comix channel or Bears, Danny's channel, any of these channels, guys, send them around. If you know people who enjoy the same things and talk the same things about you, say, hey, maybe you should go over and sub to this channel. They talk a lot about this stuff. We rely on you guys, the people who view our video, view our content, come to our live streams. We rely on you to pass the word along. We know we have you. We appreciate your time that you give us. But the more you can reach that voice out to people who may not know about us, it really does help us. So I would greatly appreciate it if you did that for all of the guys that have been here on here tonight and the ones that have been here in the past. All the information for everybody is down in the description box below. And with that said, guys, I think we're going to wrap it up. Thank you very much for being here. We'll get into the chat and talk about next week sometime here in the next couple of days. But with that said, I am Chris Knight. This is the Real Review 3000. Everybody say goodbye.
Adios.
Hey guys, thanks for checking us out. Be sure to subscribe to both channels and make sure to check out our friends in the Fandom Minutes. You can find us on YouTube, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and BitChute. And you can also send us an email at Shaun@ShaunStackhouseReacts.com and Chris Knight at TheRealReview3000.com. Be sure to swing by our Teespring store to pick up some awesome merchandise.